So Evan, one of the first things that struck me when I walked into this space this morning is this amazing panoramic picture, photo, illustration. Tell me about what we're looking at here.
So this is composite image. We actually did this in part with actual aerial photography, which is a real process to get done here, just given who our neighbor is here at the
Yes,
Pentagon.
yeah,
So what
right.
you're looking at is, we talk about National Landing as three neighborhoods: Crystal City, Pentagon City, Potomac Yard. And what we have here is the Pentagon City part up sort of in the northern part of the map over here. And then you've got the to the sort of east and south, Crystal City. And so we're actually standing right in this building right here. We're kind of right in the middle of the market.
Yeah.
Potomac Yard would be off the page here. And the only reason for that is that we ran out of room because we wanted to show everything else in context. And this is actually true to scale. And so this is the proximity of the Pentagon right here. So again, when we talk about the defense tech nexus in this neighborhood, that proximity to the Pentagon, there's nothing like this in the world. We talk about the proximity to the airport. You can see that right here at Reagan National with that bridge that connects our neighborhood over, that's part of the Amazon incentive package. So we just wanted to use this to show in true scale how close we are to the Pentagon, to the airport, to the river, but also to DC. And you can see, the Lincoln and the Washington and the World War II Memorial all really visible, the Kennedy Center up here. But this is all, again, true to scale, true to form, and was a composite of renders and imagery from aviation shots.
And when you look at this image, you really appreciate how close we are to the city, just a stone's throw away across the river. The other thing that I'm interested in, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about this spiral-shaped building on the edge there with the trees all over it. That looks absolutely fascinating.
That is part of the second phase of Amazon's HQ2 plan. That's called the Helix. That's in their design. It's surrounded by three other large Amazon office buildings right here. The first phase of Amazon HQ2 are these two buildings, which is 2.2 million square feet, that delivered in the summer of 2023. So they're in occupancy in those buildings, and they're in the planning phases of that second phase. They're also sort of scattered throughout the neighborhood. But that's going to be a really, really exciting architectural flourish that's pretty similar to what you saw them do in Seattle at the Spheres, if you've ever seen that, where they have these incredible centers of energy in place where they convene people and use them as inspirations for the whole company.
And so now we're going to actually head out and take a look at some of this stuff in the flesh, as it were.
Awesome.
And have a walk around. So looking forward to doing that.
Sounds great.
Should we head out? Yeah, great.
Thanks.
So Evan, we've braved the rain. Tell me, it must be really exciting to be out and about in the midst of the project.
Well, I think so much of the reason we built that space was because we didn't have as much to show here originally. We had to communicate the vision. Now we like to take people outside.
Yeah.
I think this is a really neat vista because you can kind of see what the neighborhood looked like before. Buildings like this very old office building here. This is a building that we're actually planning to convert over time to residential.
Yeah.
But you can then see a sense of what the new looks like. And this is, here, these are two of our new apartment towers. That's the Grace, that's the Riva. You can see 220 20th Street, which was a conversion over here. But the idea of breaking up this whole block, we talked about, this was one government office building. And today, as we go, this has now become part of our retail main street. So we'll walk down here, take a look at these buildings, and give you a sense of some of the other transformation that's underway.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds great.
So the idea with this was to create Spanish steps and do this to break up, again, that major block. This was all the backside loading dock alley of the building. And instead of just cutting off the alley and saying we're going to face everything to the street, we created this curbless street condition, which is called a WUNRF in urban planning terms. And we were able to do that, curbless street, which is still open to vehicles, you can see, but to create this little kind of hidden, discovered place that's really fun, that's in between these apartment buildings. And so when we come down here and take a look, it's supposed to be active and urban and a little messy, which is the fun part. And so up here, we wrapped these buildings in retail. There's about 40,000 feet of retail. But what we're doing in this alley space, we've done things like add Bar Chinois, which is kind of like a hidden speakeasy bar that's right down there at the corner. You can kind of see nestled in.
Yeah.
We've added even some of these neighborhood serving stuff like the wine store and the plant store. The idea is that this is where you come to sort of get off the main path. But as you go out, it turns into more of the restaurants. And we pulled the residential lobbies here and here off of the main street and created these kind of two separate entrances on this curbless condition that was really meant to encourage, on especially nicer days, people to be out here, kind of enjoy this space and create a lot of outdoor dining and outdoor landscape space that embraces things like biophilia. We spent a lot of time on landscaping and thinking about how that impacts even the buildings themselves, There's landscaping all throughout the building. You can see it not only on the terraces for some of the residents. We actually deal with the plants over there, but also on some of these more public building spaces. Bringing greenery and softness into this place was so important because it had this sense of being the kind of government issue, inexpensive, facades like you see over there. This is bringing life and real materials. This building is terracotta with this really interesting rain screen on it. We wanted to bring textural quality to everything we did here.
So these are terracotta tiles on the facade.
Yeah, you can actually go touch them if you wanted to, but the facade, this is all done in terracotta with this really intricate rain screen too, that was meant again to make it something tactile and human, and you just want to go up to it and touch it. It's fun, but it really does feel real in a way that kind of the old, again, aggregate that was everywhere in this place, that aggregate was so unpleasant. You just didn't want to be around it. You didn't want to touch it. We wanted to make this real and textural and thoughtful.
And I noticed you mentioned about the curbless street, and this is open to traffic and pedestrians.
Yes.
But when there's no curbs and when you have a different kind of surface on the road, it changes the relationship between the cars and the people, right?
The cars become a lot more thoughtful because when you're going through something like this, you're driving thinking you're not actually supposed to be here.
Right.
It's kind of the fun psychological aspect of it. So it lets the car behavior be different than it would right out here on our main street on Crystal Drive. And so it really encouraged us doing these kind of really interesting outdoor seating areas and restaurants. This is Bar Colleen. This is a new French bistro. We just opened this up. It's a great operator. But again, all these retailers, you're not seeing a lot of big name brand chains. You're seeing places that we've really handpicked and been selective about who they are so that you can have much more of a local feel and flavor. And the thing that you love about cities is there always has to be a place to discover. It can't be fully rational. It has to be a little bit different, a little bit crazy, a little bit sort of mysterious in a way. And that's what we were trying to do, is make it feel like it's okay for people to be here, but it's also a place that people can really sink their teeth into and explore and discover as they go.
There's something there too about making people feel welcome, right? Just a place
100%.
where people feel that they're invited in, and that it's not they're not there by mistake.
Exactly. And so many of these places before, it felt like you had to swipe your badge to get in. You had to be there. And it's even something as simple, we put these plant installations all through the new streetscape, and we're actually extending this type of new streetscape down to the next block. And we'll show you some of the construction over here with the idea of creating these just little moments where it's okay to sit down and wait. If let's say your girlfriend is at the nail salon over here and you want to wait and you have your coffee from Colada Shop, you have a place where it's okay to do that. And you can just be present in the neighborhood and enjoy being out on the street. That's something that this place didn't have. This was a place where you came to go to your business meeting, came to go to your business lunch, and then you got in your car and you went home.
Yeah, get in, get out.
Get in, get out.
Yeah.
Exactly, was the big focus.
Yeah. So tell me about where we're heading to next. What are we going to look at?
We talked a little bit when we were inside about that transformation of that office building and bringing that amenity hub into play. And so we're actually going to show you 2011 Crystal Drive, which is where we're adding our new 500-person conference facility with that big 300-person meeting space. We're adding, that new tenant outdoor space, the great wine bar, the cool all-day coffee shop, and doing that at the base of where the bridge from the airport actually lands. So what you can see over here, this is really cool. This is an active site. I wanted to bring you down here for a second and take a look at this. Is this building, this is where you see that new conference entrance going in. And we'll kind of get out of the drive line here just to show that off a little bit. But what's so cool about it is you can see us kind of repainting above, but you can see where we've extended the slabs, pulled the skin out of the building. We're creating some outdoor space there and in that bump out right around the corner. But we're creating this entire side of the building on the left. This is the entrance for that conference center, that meeting space. We're treating it like retail. This is going to be our wine bar right over here with the kind of reimagined office space above. And so this is a project that's totally transforming. And what's so cool about it is not only that we're remaking this office building, but that it sits right here where you see that bump out that we've created in the building for these outdoor spaces. That's right at the foot of where the pedestrian bridge to Reagan National is going to land. So you're actually going to be able to walk to a meeting anywhere in the world from right here. You can go to the airport. You can actually see the control tower right in the background. And what's so neat is it's also where the train station is going to go for our regional rail, our VRE, plus Amtrak. It's all going to sit here. So imagine this totally rethought office building where you can walk to the airport, where you can go get your drink, get your glass of wine, have this kind of marquee facade and transformation. But we're doing that transformation at ground level. The 20 feet out and 20 feet up is the whole idea, because that's what you and I experience as human beings when we walk around a place like this.
And walkability to an airport is not a usual consideration, right? That's not how you would normally think of getting to an airport, is walking there.
No, it's one of the coolest things about
quite a revolutionary idea, really.
I mean, you can do London City, back to our point before. London City Airport is in a city. You can walk in Toronto and a few other places, but This airport carries 24 million passengers a year. It's at the headquarters of sort of the nation's government, seat of power. And to be able to walk to that is really extraordinary. And it is a short list of cities across the world where you can actually do that.
Yeah.
And we're adding ourselves to that list. And that was why when we thought, how could we reimagine that office building? Let's do it here.
So Evan, here we are. We've arrived at the water park. Tell me about it.
So this was a totally underutilized, again, aggregate concrete, because everything was, park that wasn't really park because it had a lot of private ownership. And so we owned most of it. We said, how can we transform this and make it into a more active place? And that's where we talked about these kiosks. So we thought about all the great operators who are small, local, women, minority-owned businesses, whatever else, who have trouble getting access to capital to go build out a restaurant, but might have a great idea. So we said, what if we built basically food trucks with no wheels, which are these kiosks that we had made in Italy and brought over. And these kiosks, they're totally self-contained. Really cool, right? So you can have ovens, hoods, air conditioning. It's a kitchen in a box. And the idea was, can we landscape this place, make it a lot more appealing, bring a lot of greenery in, but can we also take these boxes and make them easy to turn over? So some of these concepts, they change. People try an idea. Sometimes it works and it scales. We're moving one of them actually into a brand new retail space in one of the buildings we walk past.
Oh, that's a great story.
But others, they don't work and they change the concept, or they say, let's try again, let's do something else. So we have a mix of businesses here. And the idea was, can we create this place? This water feature was here. We said, what would make it better? Well, we'll build a bar on top of it.
I mean, this place is a sensory experience, right? You can see beautiful plants and the water. You can hear the sound of running water. You can smell incredible food. Like, this is such a nice place to hang out. It's just amazing. Tell us about this water feature. Where did it come from?
So this was here.
This was here.
It was called the water park because it was, imagine the same concrete that's behind here, just everywhere, a couple park benches, and that was it. And so we said, well, the water part is really cool, but we need to add some of other stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to soften it and bring it down to scale. And that's where introducing all the kiosks around it was neat, but having the water time, turn on, turn off, give it a sense of like a rhythm of a place and build this really cool restaurant and bar up top. That's an opportunity we couldn't pass up. And this is one of those things that if we just owned this piece of land, we couldn't do this. This is not as profitable as building a building on top of it.
Right.
But the idea is this is essential. You can't have people want to live in those apartment buildings or lease an office here like Amazon did without these kinds of places. And this also brings activity and life on the weekends. This was a place that was Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Really, in many ways, it was like 7 to 3 because it was on a lot of DOD and government. And so this was totally dead at night, totally dead on the weekends. There was no one here. We were very intentional about where can we make those interventions in these places that were otherwise just kind of desolate to draw people here at other times and create reasons to come and hang out.
I'm so glad that you chose to keep this water feature and not build something different or knock it down. I mean, what we're looking at is a kind of monolithic concrete waterfall in a kind of brutalist style, I guess.
Yeah.
There must have been a time when people thought this was ugly. They didn't really want to have it here. But when you put it in this new context, it's beautiful. It looks amazing.
Back to everything we talked about here is it's okay. We don't, we're not touching these buildings on either side. They're fine. People live in them. They're great. We don't own those. It's where can we make, again, these like little surgical interventions that aren't, you don't have to scrape the place. You don't have to level it. You're right. People would have looked at this and said, this is really ugly.
Right.
Well, it's a lot more fun when there's a bar on top of it. And when there are places to sit and a splash pad for kids down here. It's just different to be able to do stuff like that.
It's the place you want to be in now, I would say.
And that's where you don't have to totally destroy the place in order to make it better.
Well, Evan, I really appreciate you taking the time to walk us around. It's been a great experience to see it and to hear all of your ideas and to hear about the future vision for this place and also places just like it. So,
well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be able to share all of this and talk about it. And we really, truly love the ability to work on projects like this and transform a city. So thank you so much.
I appreciate your time. So it was great to meet you today.
Thank you so much.
I think I'm going to go and find some food in that food court because it's making me hungry.
Thanks.
We don't want you to miss an episode, so don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow In the Loop on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. And while you're there, leave us a review and a rating, and don't forget to recommend the show to a fellow commercial real estate geek.